traffic, we're getting people about 5 minutes.
So yeah, she says
I know.
You feel like
I know.
Yeah, no, it's like she was just it's so funny drugs there, you know. Yeah, it's so cool. It's so cute.
Well, I don't have to do that, but if you want to put it up, just close me out or whatever. Morning.
No.
Find a folder and take a seat. You might have to go on the end. Or the window.
Yeah, that's
coming in. My name is Mary Shotwell, and I'm the chairperson of your program. And so I'm the chairperson of the day program and the weekend program down here in Norcross. And if you don't know, we also have a day program in Gainesville. The 2-day programs are 7 semesters, and the weekend program is 9 semesters, because you take a little bit fewer hours. They're both full-time now programs, and in case you don't know, you sign up for like a hybrid program. Everybody know that? So, you know, a lot of your lectures will be online, and then you'll come on ground and hopefully get to work. You'll have some lectures on ground, but good morning, sunshine. Come on in and find a folder. Just so you know, we have 3 programs. Now, some of the faculty you may never meet because we teach on both campuses. So, you know, the cohort above you may have had a professor, and we're going to assign you big, I call them big sieves, and they will say, oh, wait till you have so-and-so, she's mean, or wait till you have so-and-so, she's great, or he's great. And you may never have that professor. So we kind of float between campuses, between programs, so you know, staffing is fun. And we're in the process, because your new cohort is coming on board, hiring 2.5 more people to meet the needs of our growing population, which is great. So let me introduce the other faculty and staff. How about Nancy give a shout out?
Good morning, I'm Nancy Fowler. You're all
Everybody say, hey, Nancy!
I'm so glad to see you all. We are in the process of registering you. About half of you are registered. If you know that, then you don't need to talk to me today. If you don't know, come by. And the rest of you, I just want to touch base with you about what you're missing, what we're looking for. We will get you registered by the day classes start that Monday, because you need access to classes online right away.
Can you tell them a little bit about yourself? Because they probably want to know.
Okay.
You're an OT and all that.
Well, yeah, I am an OT. I'm a fairly new OT. I'm a graduate of this program too, so I know how hard it is. And when you want to come cry and say it's really hard, I'll say yes. I'll pat you on the back and you can go through, because you'll make it. You'll make it. You can do this. I can do this. You can do this. I have a background in education, but mostly I was a homemaker for years, so I stayed home with my 6 kids. And I've been very busy with that. And then went back to school, graduated here in 2009. I worked in a nursing home. I work in domestic violence. And I've also taken students to mental health venues. Right now, mostly what I do is the significant stuff, and this is fun. I really enjoy, well, it's not, the other was fun too, but I really enjoy working with all you guys, bringing you in, and enjoy it very much. So if you've got questions, I'm here. Still.
I do want to say, you guys are our best commercials. And interestingly enough, when we thought we opened these 2 programs down here in Norcross, we would steal from the Gainesville program. And the Gainesville program last year had 400 applications, and
Yes.
these programs only had about 100. So still consider yourself honored to have gotten in. But the Gainesville program, like there may be people you know who didn't get in there, tell them to reapply down here, you know. So it's just like a competitive landscape right now for admissions,
Yes.
which is a good problem for us to have, but bad for students. I never would have gotten into this program, so I'm glad I went through when I did.
Yeah.
So,
And the competitiveness stops.
right here, yeah, you're here to
Now
support
you're
each
on board
other.
and you're here to help each
Right.
other.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
all right.
Thank you, Nancy. Let's give her a round of applause. How about Brittany?
My name's Brittany Farmer. I'm the fieldwork assistant, so I'm like the administrative support for the 3 fieldwork coordinators too, which will meet here today. I graduated from UGA.
Any dogs in the room?
Woo!
Whoa!
I graduated from there
Hey,
last.
Matt, here, she gets a free door prize.
Love it. But yeah, I graduated from there back in May, so I've been here almost 8 months now, which is amazing. But I'll be the one bugging you continuously with emails about those addresses and just trying to keep everything up to date. So when fieldwork time comes, you're all set to go and you're in a good location.
And tell them, what are you going to school for?
Oh yeah, we start this Monday actually. I'll be starting my grad degree in MBA project management. So
She's gonna be the resident nag, so if you don't put your paperwork in, she's our attack dog. So don't take it out on her personally. We've hired her to be mean and say, if you don't turn in your paperwork, you can't go to field work, okay? So she'll be explaining in a little bit about e-value and all that jazz, how to upload all your documents. Tiff Tiff. I give everybody nicknames, so,
We are two different
you know.
Yes,
If
we are
you're
not
two
different people, because this happens every time. I'm Tiffany Wilson, I am the office manager for Gainesville. I
So
sub
the video needs to see you. Right.
I sub in a lot sometimes in Norcross if needed. You have a new office manager that's starting next Monday.
21st, yes.
Her name is Summer, she's really great, you'll love her. But if you need anything, you can email me, I think about today, you got an email from me as well, right? I went to UGA as well, got my undergrad in psych, and working on my MBA in project management as well.
And on the weekends, she's an event planner, she's a wedding planner. So, not that I want any of you to get married, because it's not a good time. And no babies, please. But if you are getting married, she's, you know, you can pay her for extra advice, consultation on the way. All right, Janine. I call her Nene.
Good morning. I'm really happy to see y'all. I will be teaching you in your first semester here, so this one coming up, and I'm really excited to get to know you. About myself, I'm the fieldwork manager, so we have 4 folks dealing with the fieldwork team. I will tell you, Brittany will be the nicest nag you ever have to deal with. If it gets to me, well, I'll still be nice, but it'll be a little more serious.
She can hold your grades hostage.
I can do that, yes, but I haven't had to do that yet, so it's all good. I will be teaching your first professional reasoning class, and I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that in the next half an hour. My specialty is actually in the neonatal intensive care unit, which is a little bit different. I started out in adult acute care with traumatic brain injury, burns, spinal cord, and then ended up in the NICU accidentally, and I stayed there, been there for like the last 25 years or so. Did not go to Georgia, but go dogs, I married one.
How many kids do you
I
have?
have 6 children,
Right.
down to my last one at home. Nancy also has 6.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's an OT.
It's
Yeah.
an OT.
No,
You're not allowed to have them while you are in OT school. Just saying, I have to plan your field work. Okay. That's it.
And doctoral work?
Oh, I'm just starting my dissertation, and as we speak, I'm working on it. So.
In infant and child mental health?
Yes, infant and early childhood mental health and developmental disorders. And I'm looking at parents' perceptions after they're discharged from the NICU and their ability to care for their babies. So I'm really excited about that. I can talk about that forever, but I won't bore you.
Marcy!
I'm Marcy DeVoto, and I am one of the other fieldwork coordinators. I'm here 3 days a week, and I have a 3-year-old counselor. I think the other 2 plus 2 days every week. My background is in brain injury and mental health. I worked with at Shepherd, and I worked at Vanderbilt in brain injury, and then also worked with vets coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan with PTSD. So
Do you have any vets in the room? Veterans? Okay, door prize. Let's see what we got. A Burnell Bullhorn. All right, thank you for your service.
And the way our fieldwork team is divided up, we kind of represent each of us takes like a group. And so I am your representative for fieldwork. And
I'll do the matrix, go ahead.
okay, so I'm representative for the Norcross Day group, which is you guys. Janine is representative for the Norcross Weekend, and Charles is representative for Gainesville Day. So, and then I'm also the person that helps schedule all the mental health fieldwork. So that's who I am.
And what's the other one? Older adult. Right.
Yeah.
So you'll have PEDS field work that Janine kind of coordinates, the level 1s. Those are those once a week kind of field works. and then Marcy does the mental health community-based field works, and then Charles, who is stationed in Gainesville, but you'll probably meet him occasionally, he comes and helps out with practicals. He does the older adult, and he has the cohorts up there. Janine has the weekend folks, and then Marcy is kind of your boss, fieldwork wise, okay? Does that make sense? All right. All right. Any other introductions? All right. So let's show you what's in your packet here, okay? So, for the people who came in a little bit late, we're just kind of wanting you, Tiffany will kind of tap you over there. She's going to take your picture. She's going to make you fill in a spreadsheet that tells us all your contact information, where you live. Once again, and we will reiterate this numerous times, if you change your address, you must let us know, particularly the fieldwork people know, because they are planning your fieldwork, months to years in advance. So you really need to make them aware of where you live and if you have a change in status, because they're planning a year and a half, 2 years out for your level 2 experience. So you really need to let them know where you live. Let's see what else. I'm going to go over the curriculum in a minute, and just keep in mind of time. We'll be okay. Any other information, announcement, kinds of things? We'll get to know each other in a minute. Myself, in case you haven't noticed, I have a northern accent. I'm from New Jersey originally. Anybody from New Jersey? Yay! You get a shoehorn! Yay! Where are you from? Voorhees, that's South Jersey.
Yes.
So you're like a southerner.
Yeah.
Okay? Southerner. I'm from Newark, right? Right 9 miles from Manhattan. Okay, so, all right, so I'm from New Jersey. I am a veteran. I started out as an OT in the military, and then worked I call myself a JOAT, a Jill of all trades. The only thing I haven't done is burns and the neonatal intensive care. So I've kind of worked all populations, and that's the fun of OT. And if you're like me and you have a little ADD, you can say, hey, I want to work with a new population, and you can do that. That's the fun of it. So anyway, I've been at Brenau kind of since the first cohort was in. They were in their second year. So that's around 16 years. And you'll get to meet Robin. She was the founding fieldwork coordinator, and Barb Shell, who is the associate dean, and she was the original program director. And she is now in New Zealand on a sabbatical. So good for her. And she, if you don't know this, the main textbook that is used really throughout the world, called Willard and Spackman. It's sort of the OT Bible. Barb is the editor of that. She is also the editor of a professional reasoning book. There's also a book called Acute Care and OT that Helene Smith-Gabai, who's teaching up in Gainesville today, or else she would be here to say hello, she is the editor of that book. So it's really kind of cool that you have little old Brenau University, and you have people who are known nation and to some degree worldwide as occupational therapists, which is why we're rated, like in the top 35 in the country, which is pretty cool to, be a small liberal arts school. So we're proud of our work. We're a little crazy. So I do say, if you're not getting what you need in the program, come talk to me. I mean, you're our best barometer of what's going on. Later on, as you get to know each other, we will have you elect a class liaison. So anybody who wants to start politicking for it now, go ahead. Because that person kind of serves as your class representative to us. And we have a student advisory board that tries to meet once a quarter or once a semester. And you know, just kind of, hey, what's going on with your cohort? Is there anything we can do to make your experience better? Nobody's saying it's all gonna be fun and games, but it shouldn't be like you're all having panic attacks, okay? So we need to know about that if you're all having panic attacks. Something's not right with what we're doing. A little anxiety is okay. So, any general questions about what you all know you're here for an OT program, right? Just making sure about that. Good morning, sunshine.
Good morning.
How are you? Let's find a folder right up here. You know when you come late to church, how you gotta sit in front? Yeah. Okay, so let me show you what's in your packet first. You should have gotten a folder. Everybody have a teal folder? And a tape measure, which, by the way, in case you don't know, when you graduate, you have these cool hoods that will hood you. It's really cool, kind of a little ceremony in the master's field, right? And your hoods are going to be this color now. I don't know if you know that. Teal. So we had kind of a pukey color. No, that's not working for us. Teal is pretty universal for most skin tones. So anyway, your hood will be teal. So in your folder, you also should have gotten a student handbook, which you need to read. You will be having an online test on that handbook during your first semester. So you don't have to memorize it now, but it's really mainly so we can make sure you've read the stuff in it. And we wouldn't put stuff in it unless it was important. So you might want to highlight and take notes, and during your first professional reasoning, Janine can kind of field questions about the handbook, okay? So you have the schedule for the day. You also have something called essential functions is the next thing in your packet. And essential functions is so you're aware of what you are required to do as an occupational therapy student and as an occupational therapist. So there will be times at fieldwork where you may have to move people, lift people. You have to have a high degree of kind of critical thinking. Good cognitive skills, good social skills, the ability to communicate. So we want you to know what you're getting into. These are the essential job functions, okay? The next thing in your packet, Brittany will go over, but it's eValue. And eValue is our database where it's sort of like an electronic professional portfolio. So you will upload your insurance cards, your fieldwork data forms, your fieldwork evaluations. It's a lot related to fieldwork, okay? So eValue. Now, the other thing is for all students, this is an interesting thing, background checks, okay? Which, by the way, if you have had a DUI or some kind of criminal thing, you need to talk to, not in here in this room, okay, we don't want to know about it out loud, is talk to Janine or myself afterward. Like sometimes people were young and stupid and they got a DUI and they pled out and, you know, blah, blah, blah. We need to know about that because it will matter where you go on fieldwork. Because this is the Bernal sort of background check. I would say 75% of our fieldwork sites take this background check and they're cool with it. But some sites have a higher burden of proof, if you will. And they only do their own background checks. So just know, money-wise, some fieldwork sites will have an additional fee that you have to pay. Usually they're really good fieldwork sites like Shepherd or a lot of the hospital systems. And usually those cost around $85, something like that. So that may be additional expenses. We want to just be transparent with you. Additionally, you are required to join 3 professional associations, and you have 3 applications in your packet, one for GOTA, one for AOTA, American Occupational Therapy Association, and the Bernal Student Association. And GOTA is something like, I don't know, 40, well, how much does it cost? Anybody see? I'm the president of it, I should know this. $30, okay? AOTA is $75, BOTSA is $15. What we require is that you join that on your own and you upload your proof of your membership, whether it be the credit card receipt or check or your membership card, however they give it to you. You upload that into eValue, so we have proof of that. And Brittany does like spot checks of that. Next is, these are sheets that Brittany will go over. These are sort of like all our disclaimers. If you're in the witness protection program, we need to know if you don't want us taking photos of you. Because I'm like the mama, and when you're doing stuff in class, I'm there with my cell phone, taking pictures of you. So, just tell me on the sly if you can't have your photo taken. Otherwise, you're fair game, guys. I'll wait till you're in the ADL bathroom. Transferring your fellow students. This is about student release of information in terms of field work. Good morning, sunshine. Let's see, there's a C. Is that next to you? Okay. Up here, yay! And I'm going to let Brittany go over the rest of that packet, okay? On the left side of your packet is your schedule. Looks like this. For this semester, we thought it might be nicer for you not to have class every Friday, so that you can get some long weekends in the summer, okay? Because you don't have field work. Normally, on the semesters you have field work, your field work will be on Thursdays, and you'll come to school Wednesday and Friday, okay? But for this first semester, you're gonna travel to Gainesville on Wednesday. Does everybody know they're going to Gainesville on Wednesday? Okay, you'll be there all day. You'll be in the anatomy building, it's called the science building, part of the day, and the Bernal East OT building, which is like, what, a mile and a half down the road or something? So you have to drive between the places, and you'll be for kinesiology. And then you'll come here the next day, so you'll be tired, but with this other class that's called clinical conditions will probably not meet every Friday, okay? It's sort of a hybrid class, and I'm working with that instructor to say, you know what, they don't need to meet all 12 weeks or whatever. Incidentally, and I know, who's my calendar people in the class? Come on, who's anal? Okay, thank you, Purple Girl. So, Bernal does not have a summer break, but we're OTs, we're supposed to be promoting balanced living. So, we have pulled a break, our own break, it's our secret break, the week of 4th of July. So June 30th through July 4th. If you're gonna go anywhere then, but have internet available, okay? We have told the instructors, only reading, maybe a discussion post, no heavy assignments. Everybody needs a break. The faculty need a break and you need a break. Also, even though the Bernal calendar says classes end August, whatever, they really end, on the Bernal calendar, it says they end August, yes, but we're ending them on August 1st for you guys. You might have a couple little things due, but you don't have to show up here the next week. So again, if you want to go away August 4th through the 8th or that week, you can, but make sure you have internet access to turn anything in, whatever, okay? So that gives you, if you turn everything in and you're really done, on the 1st, that gives you the week of the 4th, the week of the 11th, and the week of the 18th. It gives you 3 weeks between semesters to decompress, okay? And faculty actually only get like a week. So, you know, we need faculty to rest too. They might be nicer when they get back. On the 25th is when school starts again, okay? Is everybody good with that? Yeah? All good? Okay, now, on the back of this calendar, or the back of the daily schedule, we group you up each semester for your lab or your breakout classes. And the reason we do that is because in real life, you're going to be working with different team members. So each semester, we kind of tell you what to sign up for. In other words, we run your life for the next 7 semesters, okay? Just get over it. So that's how you're going to be broken up in your breakout section. There's some classes where it's half of you, so it's like 16 and 16. There's 32 of you. There's a couple of people who are getting married or somewhere else, whatever, who are not here, which is why we're videotaping this. So again, if you're in the witness protection program, just keep your head, the back of your head to the camera. But I'll YouTube this and send you a link to it. And then you can blackmail me later as to what I said to you all. Anyway, so that's how you're grouped up, okay? And lastly is your book list. So get ready for sticker shock, okay? I will say a lot of these books you're going to reuse for other classes. So the first semester will probably be more than $600, maybe more. So, you know, I'm not trying to just talk about the money and scare you, but I want to hit you with reality about the fact that this is an expensive endeavor. Any questions? Okay, where it says recommended, you see we have required and recommended in one of those columns. Oh, okay. I know you're going to ask us about this. Okay, so the anatomy books are the ones that are recommended. I will tell you that the students love the trail guide to the body, those two. So what you may want to do, you may be able to find used copies of it online. And even if it's an older version, get it, okay? Students really like the trail guide as opposed to the textbook. The other thing is like on the bottom, Gosling, it's just an anatomy coloring book. You don't have to buy that one, but again, that's another one that you could buy online. Somebody colored in 2 pages and then they sell it on eBay, okay? So those are tools that you will need for anatomy, but again, some people are really good at anatomy, they don't need those extra tools. If you're like me and you don't memorize stuff well, except miscellaneous things, like my phone number from when I was 9 years old.
And songs.
Yes, and songs. But anatomy, you know, I was like barely a B student to pass anatomy. So just some people are better memorizers than others, right? So these are just tools that are recommended for you. And again, instead of your birthday present, maybe your family will buy you some of these things, okay? The other thing, the last thing in your packet is the list of the curriculum. So put this somewhere in your room, so when you're hating this semester, you can look, what's next semester? When will I get relief? And then that semester, you say, what's the next semester? Okay? Does that make sense? All right. And I'll explain sort of the curriculum. All right. So let me kind of go over the curriculum, and I can do that in less than 25 minutes. And then you'll take a break, and then Janine will be talking. Okay? So. Okay, door prize time. Who has moved here from a state that is more than 200 miles away? I mean You're in North Carolina. Okay, so where? Say again? That's more than 200 miles away?
Pennsylvania,
Where?
outside Philadelphia.
Where?
Manenberg?
Okay, I went to Temple, Philadelphia, all right, good.
Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Oh, that's a second tape measure, you don't want that. This is a fidget toy. So when you're like bored in class, you can just don't make too much noise with it. Okay, this is, we go to conference every year, we get all the free stuff. So I was like, well, that's what I could do with the free stuff. This is a cooling pack. So you wet it, you know, and if the pressure gets on in class, you're never Pennsylvania girl. All right, where are you from?
Upstate New York,
Oh, whereabouts?
Utica, Syracuse
Oh,
area.
wow, so you got the accent.
I got the southern accent now.
Oh, do you? This is a potato chip. Podcast, that's what you call it. Okay, where are you from?
Utah.
Utah, anybody further than Utah?
Give me all of them.
You're gonna get a second prize. But this is a handy dandy cell phone holder. You really need that, And so when you're FaceTiming with your friends, Southpaw is a company that like makes suspended equipment.
Wonderful.
So you could do that because we do Google Hangouts with your professors, and so you could do it on your phone or your iPad, you could put it there. But I think our Utah guy deserves an extra treat. Let's see. Okay, here, but you have to promise not to do this to us. This is like a laser pointer, okay? Just don't do it to our eyes, okay? All right. Anybody else from where? Winston-Salem?
North Carolina.
All right. Winston-Salem?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we like Winston-Salem. All right. Hand her. Tell me your name again. I remember you.
Leanne.
Leanne. Pass this to Leanne and we're now bookmark. Yay! Who else? Who else?
Me,
Over there. Where are you from?
Pennsylvania,
Oh, to Pennsylvania. Where?
Pottstown,
Pottstown. Do you know where Pottstown is?
Sort of.
is outside,
Where?
outside of Philly.
Outside of Philly. Okay. Podcast. All right. Okay. Did I miss anybody who's from another area?
Behind you, Mary,
Where?
in the corner, we're going
Oh, where are you from?
Tennessee,
Tennessee? Whereabouts?
Knoxville.
Okay, how far is Knoxville from Memphis, the other side of the state?
It's
4 hours.
hours.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, at least we have some state friends here. You know, we should give her Tennessee friends a magnet. Okay? This says, see you in Nashville. AOTA is in Nashville next year. So there is no reason for you not to go next year. Okay? So we want every student, it's not a requirement, but it is highly encouraged that you all attend one conference during your education time. Because A, it's cheaper if you go as a student. If you volunteer, you get a discount, okay? So we highly recommend. Next year is in Nashville, April 16th through the 19th. Put it on the calendar. April 16th through the 19th. We generally kind of suspend classes during that period so that you can go, or we do something online. And the year after that, it's in Chicago. So, you know, my blood's too thin for Chicago at this point. But Chicago's fun too. So we all typically go every year, the faculty, most of the faculty. So, and then the year after that, guess where it is, my Pennsylvania friends? Back in Philly. So, you know, so I'd say all plan on going to Nashville. Okay, so let's talk about our curriculum and the philosophy. Just so you know, we have the same curriculum for all three of our programs. It's just delivered in a different format. And it's basically a progressive education tradition. Yeah, we're going to stand and deliver a little bit because we do have to impart content. But to the degree that we can, we want to make things interactive and experiential. And that's why you have field work, and you have 4 seminars called professional reasoning, where you get to come in class and kind of say, hey, I saw this on field work, or hey, I saw, somebody be really mean to a client, what do I do, So you come to class and you live vicariously through your classmates' experiences as well. And then your instructor kind of says, well, what do you guys think? What would we do if we were in that situation? Sometimes you'll feel like you're doing OT on yourself. And who in here has kids? Okay, so here you get a t-shirt. Now, in the other room, our students actually created this. I'm going to give this one to you, do you mind? No, Slippy t-shirt. They created this as a class exercise. And then it's in the next classroom. We mounted it on a board. And then we went and built a ramp for somebody, and the students created these t-shirts. Ready? I need one of those t-shirt guns. How many kids do you have? 3, me too. How many kids?
1.
1. Okay, anybody else with kids? Oh, 1? Okay, ready? 1. There you go. Okay. Oh, all right. Wait a minute, I gotta find something else for you. Okay, kids are dirty. So you need some antibacterial. How many kids?
2.
2. Okay, all right, it's got 1, 2, 3. Nobody with 6. Okay, all right, that's good. So our job as a teacher is to teach, but none of us claim to know everything. We're learning from you as well. So again, if instructors are not asking you about your experience, I kind of need to know that. Not like you're coming to tattle on them, but you might share that through the liaison. Is, hey, we want to share our experiences too. So, because you're all, you have life experiences to bring to this. A lot of you work in related fields. You're going to have lots of experiences that you can bring to this table that we can share. So we really want you to, talk about your experience. In foundations, you'll talk about occupation is the preferred intervention. And that's not to say that we don't do exercises with people, but we view that as preparatory. And occupation, we're about doing. We want our clients to do stuff. So to the degree that we can, we want to push practice so more people do and less people do activities where they're getting ready to do. So if you go into a setting where they're doing TheraBand or pegboards, it's like, okay, and then what? Is what, you don't want to go into a setting, and say, you're doing bad OT, okay? I don't want you to do that. But you want to reflect on that and say, what would I do to push this further to help people to do real things in their life, okay? So that's our philosophy. This is just our philosophy as a curriculum, basically that humans are dynamic beings, that you have to have some foundational skills, but sometimes you need to just try things. So sometimes in this curriculum, you may not have had the prerequisite courses. And we'll say, that's okay, we know you're not quite ready, we're gonna throw you in the deep end, but here's a lifesaver, And so we'll help you through it, but we believe the way you can activate knowledge is by doing things. So a lot of the class projects, you may feel like, I don't know what I'm doing, and we know that. I mean, not that you shouldn't tell your instructors that, but some of this will be a struggle for you because you're learning, everything is going to be new for you. I did want to say to the kid people in the room, once you go through your kid class stuff, you'll be like, oh wow, I view my child differently. So my middle son, he's sort of a quirky fella. And when he was little, like he couldn't sit still, and probably has some sensory issues. Well, not probably, he does. And he like couldn't sit still to read a book. And then my husband was like, "Sit still," when he was reading. And I was like, Williams are just more sensitive than other kids, you know? And I was like, he was like, oh, you OTs are so annoying. Anyway, but you may be a different parent by having gone through this curriculum. So we have 3 arms of our curriculum, and they are sort of on the front of your handbook, okay? Practice, inquiry, advocacy, PIA, which is also a layer in the brain, okay? One of the membranes surrounding the brain. So I teach neuroscience, so of course I had to get some kind of neuroscience in this curriculum thing. But PIA is practice. You all came to learn skills, right? Inquiry is about the research and the professional reasoning kinds of courses you're taking. And then advocacy is what we want you to do for your profession and for your clients, you know, throughout this curriculum and going forward, okay? And so you all took or are finishing up, which by the way, I did talk to Nancy about those people who are finishing up prerequisites. B- does count as a B. So if you do get a B-, we're not happy about it, but we're not going to kick you out, okay? But once you get in Bernal courses, there are no minuses and pluses. If you are still finishing up your prerequisites, you need to check in with Nancy just so she knows when you're going to be done and when your transcript will be sent to us, because we can't get you officially started in classes until those things are done, okay? So as soon as you can get those classes done. So you took the social sciences as prerequisites, you took some kind of natural sciences and applied sciences like stats and research methods and medical terminology. And now you have, you're in the OT curriculum. This is the professional phase of your curriculum. And you will have 5, we call them OT and OT application classes. The first one starts with foundations, and then you start with older adults, and then you go mental health, it's an adolescent area, and then you go peds, and then you have a 5th course, which is called advanced OT process. So you kind of have 5 intervention courses, and you even have kinesiology, where you talk about intervention there. And then you have 4 level 1 fieldwork courses. That E and I stands for evaluation intervention. And the first level 1 really isn't a real level 1. It's basically where you meet with the person with the disability once a week. And Janine will talk more about that. You have 4 professional, we just changed the name to professional reasoning courses. You have 2 advanced practice electives. If you look at the last 2 semesters in your program, you have OT 745 and OT 750. Those are the only 2 choices you get in the curriculum about what you take. And every semester we offer like 4 of those courses. So you have some choices, and people from all programs can take those. We do a study abroad. Right now we're doing Mexico every spring. We do, it's called Global Health Perspectives in the Yucatan. We actually have people going there for field work as well. Janine is maybe looking at doing a Global Health Perspectives in Haiti. So, you know, again, those electives are opportunities for you could take courses in other departments too, although a lot of people want to take them from us, and it's also fun for faculty to teach something that's of interest to them. Like I've done aging in place, or complementary healthcare, or neurodevelopmental treatment, different topics that go above and beyond an entry-level curriculum, okay? And then you have 7 research classes, and you start with evidence-based practice. You have these supervision classes, you have a quant class and a qual class, and then you have 2 classes to do your thesis. and you do your thesis in groups, okay? So, after it's over with, you're usually okay about it. During it, we all want to kill each other, but you know, you make it through. And then you have 4 courses that are in the advocacy area. And those are about like management, there's a health policy kind of component in that, there's a legal and ethics class, and I'm forgetting what the other one is, but anyway, advocacy classes. So in each of, these are, I think we have like 11, that I sort of summarized them here. We have 11 or 18 curricular outcomes. So in every syllabus that you get, I know you never read the objectives, right? What do? You just turn and you look at what I have to do to make it out of this class. But we actually think about this stuff in our free time. Okay, how does this relate to the outcome of the program? And these are the outcomes of the program. And we also have standards that we have to meet from the Accreditation Council. You know, every program has to be accredited for you to sit for your exam. And we just had a site visit, and hopefully the outcome, we don't know the outcome, but we're thinking the outcome of that will be a 7-year accreditation. So that'll get you through. And, you know, we hope it's a 10, but it probably will be a 7. Only because we had one error, one. And it was that, we'll tell you what it is. We had a new faculty member who her license was held up by the licensure board. And all faculty have to be licensed if they are an occupational therapist. And she was brand new, and her license wasn't, she put it in the paperwork, but she didn't get it. So that was what kept us from a 10-year, and we'll probably get a 7-year. Yeah, it's a game you have to play. But anyway, 7-year is good enough. So, just so you know, doing a little commercial, we are starting this fall in a post-professional doctorate. And so people who have matriculated with us, we'll give them about 6 credits toward a 36-credit doctorate beyond the master. So if you meet other people who are OTs or whatever, that's our new venture. And after this, we're going to presumably slow down and grow. That's what we say. Who knows? But anyway, so the doctorate is our next venture. And that is what we call a low residency program. These are people who are practicing OTs, and they only come once a semester for that. So some of those people may be coming in to guest lecture or things like that. So look forward to them being involved. These are where the courses kind of fall in terms of practice, inquiry, advocacy, and then there's these 5 or 6 curricular streams. So again, you don't have to memorize this or anything, but just so you know, there is thought about how classes are organized, and somebody sent me an email, for example, last night, and she said, hey, we need more work on intervention. And I was like, well, do you know you're going to get this course? I didn't say it that way. I think these things, but I'm nice. And if I'm not nice, call me on it. And I'll call you on it if you're not nice, because we're supposed to be professionals. We all think things, and then we filter it, right? Hopefully my filter is on that day. Anyway, she wasn't aware that she was going to have this course called OT 680, Advanced OT Interventions, So sometimes come and ask, hey, are we going to get information on da-da-da-da-da? Because you're not sure what's coming next. And we actually think about this stuff, believe it or not. And the other thing that's different about our curriculum than other curriculums, so if you meet people from other schools, our uniqueness is this professional reasoning business. No other schools might have one seminar or one class that teaches you professional or clinical reasoning. You have 4 classes, okay? So what people say about our graduates, is that Brenau graduates are really good critical thinkers, really good problem solvers. They tend to be a little bit weaker in the hands-on stuff. So we're trying to get better at the hands-on stuff, okay? And we need to be aware when you go out in the field what people think of us too, because their feedback is valuable to us. Anyway, but there's this concept called situated cognition and communities of practice. And situated cognition is what I was telling you earlier, that in order to learn, you have to use knowledge. You have to activate your brain. And so we'll be giving you cases, or we'll say, hey, go out and do this home eval, or bring something in from fieldwork, or take this assessment and do it on a person at fieldwork. And you'll be like, I can't do that. And we'll be like, yes, you can, and do it if you want the grade. And you'll be okay at the end of it. But, you know, we're going to make you a little uncomfortable by making you do things you think you might not be ready to do. If we waited until the end of the curriculum and said, you're on your way, go do your field work now, you just would fail at field work, or you wouldn't do as well as you might have. So that's why along the way we try to design learning activities that make you do things, okay? The other thing is this concept of communities of practice. I've done consulting in other programs, and in some cases have been surprised at sort of the professor's kind of, I'm here and you're here kind of thing. And if you're seeing that, I need to know about it, because we should be viewing ourselves. Yes, we have more experience. Yes, we kind of know a little more about OT. We get that. But we kind of view ourselves as co-learning. So we're counting on you all to teach us about what you're seeing in the field, so that we can then process that in the classroom. And so this should be a co-learning. We view you as junior OTs. Right now, you may now, well, once May 5th starts, you may now put behind your name OTS, okay? So you got initials now. You're starting to be really important, okay? But you are junior OTs as of now. I just dub all of you as junior OTs, okay? You have less experience than us, but you bring skills and knowledge to this profession already, okay? So it's not, we're up here and you're down here, okay? We're here to teach each other about OT. You're gonna get so sick of learning in groups, okay? And you all love to hate the group project thing, right? You like it because you can do a better project, but you gotta work out that group dynamic stuff. So, you know, if you're having group challenges and you need to kind of just bend one of our ears, how can I work through this? You know, we'll help you through it. I mean, sometimes students will come and say, I'm not getting what I need from my thesis supervisor. Okay, well, let's structure the meetings more. Let's leave there with the to-do list every week. Make somebody the secretary. So, you know, there's strategies you can do. And the reason, not only because you can do better work in groups, but because when you go out in the field, you're going to be working with PT, OT, speech, psychologists, you know, all these other disciplines, physicians. You've got to learn how to work with other people. So that's the other premise. The other thing is real life stuff. You know, is that we have accountability to each other, and putting you in groups kind of makes you accountable to each other. In terms of the professional reasoning, as I mentioned, Barb Shell, our Associate Dean and Program Director, is she's actually in New Zealand right now doing research on professional reasoning. And so that is a big emphasis in our curriculum. And so in each of the professional reasonings, you'll sort of have a different emphasis. The first professional reasoning is about the narrative. What is the client's story? They're more than a diagnosis. You know, how do they live with the disability? How do they do ordinary daily life things? we look at the scientific reasoning, then we kind of say, what is their diagnosis, what are the problems, what is the kinds of intervention based on evidence-based practice guidelines. Then pragmatic reasoning. Well, what is this setting all about? What if I don't have any supplies? What if I have they gave me a closet to do OT in? Can I deal with it? And yes, you will be able to. And then ethical reasoning. A lot of ethical dilemmas. Yesterday I got a phone call from a therapist who just moved from Georgia to Florida, and she Facebook messaged me and said, I got a dilemma, can I call you at lunch? I was like, all right. I knew it was something going on at her nursing home that was shady. And she thinks that someone is billing for stuff that she's really not doing. And it's like, ugh. I was like, well, if you called me, you know you need to do something about it, right? So you just needed me to tell you, yes, you need to narc on your friend here, So then I got a Facebook message later on in the day, and she said, I talked to my supervisor wasn't aware of it, and hopefully it'll be a positive outcome. But, sometimes you just need to talk to other practitioners about things you're seeing that you kind of go, is that okay? Well, that's sort of like an ethical tension. And then when you say that's not okay, that's when you need to act and do something. So really important. Okay, and again, the Brunel OT, what's our product? How are we different than other schools? Well, this concept of communities of practice. Other programs will say, wow, you do work with your professor. You like your professors. I mean, usually that's what Brunel students will say when they talk to other students. It's more hierarchical at other places. Contextual teaching and learning, that's the throwing you in the deep end stuff. The level 1 fieldwork model. Now, when you go to certain fieldworks, people grew up in the model where you just sit and watch me. And we kind of don't want that to happen. So when you go on level 1s, to the degree that your supervisor will allow, try to do as much as possible. So you might have to politely say, next week, could I maybe bring some things, or could I think about some activities, or, and hopefully they'll let you do it. And you'll talk about it in clinical reasoning. We have fieldwork in medical, educational, and community-based settings. You have a high degree of integration with the evaluation intervention classes, like the treatment classes, professional reasoning, and your fieldwork courses. So in the 4 semesters, you'll have kind of one of each. And you're supposed to use that seminar to kind of talk about what's going on in all classes, including your fieldwork. We have research process throughout. It's a 2-year thesis process. Believe it or not, you'll start it in the fall. And you'll sign up for your projects in the fall. It's based on faculty agenda. So we'll put out a ballot, who's doing what projects. And, and you'll be in groups of 4 typically with your thesis work. You should be meeting with your research advisor, usually weekly, maybe in the first time every other week or so. We have high quality products. Our agenda now, in the beginning of our program when we were smaller, we got quite a few papers published out of thesis research. And then we were kind of in growth mode, and we were just doing a lot of graduate posters. And now we've sort of said, no, we're not going for the posters. We're kind of going for publications and like presentations at national meetings. So, hopefully in Nashville you'll see quite a few of us presenting. I mean, I just presented with my students on a hippotherapy assessment tool that I've sort of developed. And the advanced coursework. Some programs don't have these advanced coursework. So the reason our program is 95, 94 credits is because of the research hours, the professional reasoning hours, and some of this advanced coursework that your other OT programs don't have. okay? So it's our expectation that all of you on some level will be members of your professional organization when you leave. Might be a hand therapy group, it might be an autism group, it might be GOTA, AOTA, some professional association. We believe that that's a responsibility. Even if, again, we know a lot of you are gonna have families and small children and maybe you can't be involved. Become a checkbook member, you know what I mean, to support advocacy. So you're gonna hear us saying this over and over, and each of you kinda has to pick your thing. One other thing, Nancy, will you give a brief commercial for Pi Theta?
Oh, we all, and there's some students coming.
Oh, okay.
They're coming at 11.
Oh, okay. Nancy is the Pi Theta advisor. Pi Theta is our National Honor Society, too. So that's one other organization you might be involved in. This was what I was talking about. Usually this is on our syllabi, and this is in your handbook. And basically, it says, this is your responsibility as a student on this side, and this is my responsibility as faculty members. So if you see a faculty member not doing this, right, you need to kind of first try to deal with the teacher politely or quietly, give the teacher feedback. You know, gee, Dr. Shotwell, and by the way, you can call me Mary. I have no problem being called Mary. Find out from each professor what they like to be called, okay? Everybody has their thing, what they like to be called. So, if you're referring to me, like if you're complaining to my boss about me, then use Dr. Shotwell, okay? If you're introducing me to someone important, use Dr. Shotwell. Otherwise, feel free to call me Mary, all right? Dr. Mills, you're gonna have her. She tends to be called Dr. Mills. That's Tamara Mills. You're gonna have George Holdage teaching you anatomy this summer, and he's a medical doctor. I'm assuming he'll be called Dr. Holdage, okay? Do you know him?
Yes.
Is he good?
I had him for that. I loved it.
You did, okay.
He answers questions. He's very involved.
Okay, yeah, he's good, because he's new to this course. And I heard he's good,
Yeah,
but you're always leery with new people. So I'm meeting with him in a week or two about what we need for our course. Janine usually is called Janine. Lisa, do you have Lisa? No, you have Foley, Kathy Foley for foundations. I think she goes by both. So again, find out what people like to be called. Don't be shy to ask that, okay? And a lot of people just call me Shotwell, and I'm fine with that. What I don't like being called is Mrs. I'm married, but I don't know, I don't dig the Mrs. thing, okay? So don't call me Mrs. Shotwell, all right? Okay, anyway, so this means we should all treat each other with respect, and that we don't want you being a dependent learner. It's like, what do you want? Well, you just tell me what to do and I'll write it. That's kind of annoying. You know, so if you go to a professor and you say, Dr. Shotwell, this is what I've done on this assignment. Am I on track? That's a better way to do that rather than, what do you want on this assignment? Does that make sense? Okay? So a lot of it's in your delivery, you know, how you're going to be perceived by us. Okay. And so what are some strategies for success? We find that people who don't succeed in the program, you know what? It's usually over here that they have problems. So they go to field work and they're on their cell phone. OMG, they'll do it, okay? Being late to class, not showing up, okay? If you miss more than 20% of classes, that is sort of possible grounds for failure in that class or failure or dismissal from the program, okay? Each professor can make attendance policies that are more strict or less strict, but that's sort of the general rule of thumb. Missing more than 20% of a class, you know, it's like the physician saying, oh, I was absent today, they went over brain surgery. So, do you get what I'm saying? Everything we're saying is important on ground, otherwise we would do it all online. Does that make sense? So, the dialogue is what's really important usually, so just keep that in mind. Dress code, when you go to field work, no tramp stamps, no tattoos. If you on your face, you got a little problem, but, trying to hide the tattoos, hide big earrings. Our dean always says, people should see you, not your clothing, okay? Which is why you have a Grinnell uniform. When you go to field work, you're gonna wear the black polo shirt and khakis. I don't take the khakis because they're not good for the cellulite thing, So, get your khakis a little bigger than normal, girls, if you have some big hips, okay? So that's your uniform. If you have not signed up for your t-shirt size, you need to do that. No drugs and alcohol, okay? So if you're a pot smoker, stop it now, okay? No Tylenol with codeine. If you get popped for a drug test, you're out. You're out. I mean, we had somebody who went all the way through her program, had to do a P test at her first level 2. She was gone. Spent $80,000 or whatever she's spending, and she was gone. So I'm telling you, stop the drugs now. Okay? Take up drinking. Just kidding. Okay. So this is my best door prize at the end. Okay? I'm kind of kidding about that. The only other thing is we found that people who work more than 20 hours have problems in the program. So if you're working now, you may think about modifying. It's funny, in our weekend program, which was designed so people could work, and I would say about a quarter of those students end up quitting their job, and they just do a part-time thing, So just keep that in mind. Also, I want you all to go home and create a study area. And it probably shouldn't be your dining room table that is going to need to be cleared. So an area where you can leave your stuff out, where your kids or your significant others are not going to invade. And create that space for yourself. There shouldn't be a TV near there, okay? You should maybe have some headphones or earplugs. So you want to go home and think about setting up your environment for success, okay? Do the readings and assignments, and I will tell you, you're not going to be able to do all the reading and assignments. So this is where finding a friend in your class and doing study guides. I'll do chapter 1 if you do chapter 5, and you trade study guides, okay? You're going to have to work together to make it through this program. And sometimes there's really cool students who just will send out to the whole class, hey guys, they're like overachievers. You kind of want to hate them, kind of thing. Hey guys, I've created a study guide for blah, blah, blah. It's like, hey, I like her. So, feel free to do that. After today, we will send you the email list of all of your emails, and maybe one of you will set up a Facebook for yourself. And that Facebook can be private from us, but watch what you say.
Grinnell does not allow us to do that anymore. We have a Facebook page, and I have created a group specifically for
Well, how can they
cohort.
not allow it?
It has to go through
They're
the
trying to keep it all
proper channel.
regulated, so that it's all Grinnell sponsored. It's a bunch of stuff.
What do I know?
But if
we
you
create
email
private?
me and let me know that you found us on Facebook, you can do Grinnell OT, you can search for Aunt Nellie.
Right.
Friend us, and Brittany and I can accept your friend request, and we'll put you into the group, and you guys will have your own special little group. Some of you are already there.
But that means you can't talk about us.
Well, you can, but.
Right, in a negative way. So, I'm just saying, well, even if you did have your own private Facebook, that's not really private. We all get that, right? Also, you might want to look right now at some of your own pictures on Facebook, what they look like, because your CIs, your clinical instructor, might see you coming and just check out your Facebook profile. So go home and look at it. It's not to say you can't, be at a party or whatever, but if it's hoochie-like, we're doing drugs, maybe you need to close that Facebook down, okay? All right, that's all I have to say. Take a break till, is it 10? Can we do 10, Janine? And then I'll give you my time.
Sure,
All right.
absolutely.
And guys, if you haven't done it already, if you want to come and check out the teacher outside, that's so cool, and then we'll see you.
Oh, she got everything in the folder is this. That's all she gave for us. No, this one is, this is how they organize it. This is schedule, yeah, all that stuff. You need one of these.
And guys, there's some yellow water, you have yourself too.
Yeah. And then the 2 pages for, wait, it's AOTA and GOTA. That's it. Right, that's the AOTA. GOT has 2 pieces. And then, drug test and stuff. Sleep value. And then, so all you need is the orientation schedule and the program. Oh, and this. Everything was pretty much straggling in, probably like 5 minutes after, because the traffic was so much, so not really. What? Really? Were you traveling north or south? South? And I got on 85 and it wasn't, well no, I didn't get on 85, I took 285.
No, I was traveling.
Because I know it's traffic on 85 south. Where is that? I have no idea where that is. Yeah, north.
Yeah.
That's north. So you travel south. You travel south. Yeah. It was traffic on, I think, 85 south. It was like some kind of accident or something. It was like stand still. That's
I don't want to interrupt, but what is your name again? You look so familiar to me. Did you go to LaSalle or did you go to Auburn? Okay, when you walked in, I was like, I know her. She looks so familiar to me. What's your last name? Okay, good to meet you again. I knew it. I looked over and I was like, I know who that is. I'm Megan.
nice to meet you, Megan. I'm Dana.
Dana, nice to meet you.
So yes.
I'm gonna steal your chair. Just make sure it's still on if that's okay. I know that. Where did you go to undergrad? Okay, I think I knew that. I think we had like a math class together, maybe. I don't know. But
High school and college?
no, I went to Auburn.
Oh,
She went to UGA. Yes, that's what it was. Okay, cool. And you're from
Georgia State.
Georgia State. Okay. I thought you were from Garland. Okay. That's
Yeah, that was her.
Oh, okay.
What? But the thing is, I was born in Pennsylvania, but I didn't think that counted. I
Yeah.
think those people that actually lived there. Yeah.
Did you go to high school?
Yeah, I went to Stevenson and Stanford.
Okay, cool.
What area are you from in Atlanta?
Marietta.
Marietta. Oh yeah, you guys are from like up north and stuff. How far is it from here? Like 40 minutes?
I don't know. I don't live there anymore. Well, I live in Atlanta now, so it only took me like 15.
Normally.